People often come to me and they say to me, Mandy, I just can't stick to my nutritional plan. And it's either that they're constantly hungry or that they're constantly craving certain foods when they are on their fat loss expedition. And maybe that sounds familiar. Maybe that is something that you too are struggling with. And the harsh reality of it is, for you to see progress on your health and fat loss expedition, you really have to adhere to your nutritional plan, to your diet on a consistent basis. And that's why in this episode, I'm going to give you 10 pointers or 10 pieces of advice that you can use and implement into your daily plan to help you adhere to your calories, to your nutritional plan, to your diet, so that you can be less hungry and have less cravings and ultimately start seeing results and progress. On that note, welcome to this episode of the Mandy Meyer podcast. As per usual, this is the podcast where we chat all about your health and fat loss and all about how you can achieve those fat loss goals of yours. Let's dive into the 10 pieces of advice, or the 10 pointers, or the 10 tips when it comes to your nutrition, so that you feel less hungry and so that you experience less cravings. The 10 points that I'm going to list are in no specific order. Number 1, eat more whole foods, more fresh foods, and eat less ultra-processed foods. Obviously, this is super important from a health perspective, but from a hunger perspective, this is also going to keep you fuller throughout the day at a lower calorie cost than what ultra-processed foods will do. Number 2, don't skip meals. If you are hungry throughout the day or at certain hours of the day, or if you experience high levels of cravings, why are you skipping meals in the first place? That hunger is your body saying to you, hey, feed me, I'm hungry. But instead you decide to skip meals. You're doing the opposite of what you should be doing, and that is eating meals, eating food, giving your body the fuel that it wants, that it needs. And by doing this, it goes without saying, you are going to be fuller throughout the day. And that's also going to reduce any random cravings that you do have. Number 3, eat those meals at more or less the same time every single day. I don't feel like I need to go into too much detail about that, because it's something that I bang on about so much in most of the episodes that I do. 3 meals at more or less the same time every single day, you're going to start regulating those appetite hormones. You are going to start being able to differentiate between fake hunger and real hunger. And even though there's still 7 tips or points left, if you just start executing those first 3 points that I've given you, I can tell you now you will already see a reduced level of appetite, because you're going to be fuller throughout the day, and you're also going to reduce your cravings just by implementing those first 3 points that I have spoken about. But let's move on to number 4, and that is save your sweet fun foods for the last meal of the day. And what I mean by that is, don't make your whole dinner a fun food dinner, a dinner full of sweets. Have your nutrient-dense dinner, and then your fun food of the day, have that as your snack before you go to bed. The last thing that you eat for that day. In short, the reason for this is, if you're having your fun foods at breakfast time or lunchtime, that is often where you just think, screw this, and you don't focus on the nutrient density of the rest of your meals for that day. Number 5, lean sources of protein. Start including them. To break this down even further, yes, protein is amazing to add to your plan, but if you can make your protein sources a lean protein source, meaning they contain less fat, meaning they contain less calories, you can get more bang for your calorie buck. For example, instead of having lamb chops, have something like chicken. Or instead of having something like beef sausage, have something like chicken. I'm joking, you don't always need to have chicken. Maybe something like fish, or something like a lean cut of steak, or even lean mince meat. By adding a leaner source of protein, you can really start saving calories. And by saving calories, you can actually use those calories that you have saved to eat more. Smart food choices make a massive difference when it comes to how much you can eat. And that makes a difference in how hungry or full you are at any given time. For the calories of 100 grams of lamb, I might be able to get 150 grams of chicken. That's 50 grams of extra food that I'm getting at the same calorie cost. Number 6, less eating out, more cooking at home. When you are eating out, you will be consuming more calories and less food. And of course, the less you eat, the hungrier you will be. And the hungrier you are, of course, the more you're going to eat, but that can also increase your cravings. When you are cooking at home, you have full control over the ingredients that you use. You have full control over the cooking technique that you use. And that will allow you to either bulk up your meals with lower calorie options, or it will allow you to reduce the calories of your meals by using less cooking oils, butters, or fats. Number 7, less liquid calories. Now, you're probably wondering, how is that going to help keep you fuller throughout the day? And how is that going to help reduce cravings? Well, the less liquid calories you consume, the more solid food calories you can consume. If you are spending 200 to 300 calories per day on coffees, cappuccinos, or even fruit juices, that's 300 calories that are not keeping you full. You can basically get a very decent sized snack or a small meal for those 300 calories. And at the end of the day, that is what is going to keep you full. That is what is going to reduce cravings. Until you start tracking and monitoring your calories, you will actually have no idea how many hidden calories are in the liquids that you are consuming. Number 8, less alcohol. Now, of course, that is also from the liquid calories perspective. The less alcohol you consume, the more calories you can use on solid foods. But I have to add, the less alcohol you consume, in general, the less cravings you will have. The less snackish, the less peckish you will feel. We all know what happens when you consume alcohol. You tend to want to snack more, you tend to want to turn to foods that are higher in calories, and that at the end of the day is going to be the thing that pushes you over your calorie goals. That is going to be the thing that affects your adherence and your consistency. Number 9, more basic meals. And what I mean by that is stop trying to overcomplicate everything. Stop trying to turn all your food into these viral recipes that we see online. And the reason why I say that is because when you overcomplicate recipes, you tend to use a lot more ingredients than what you actually could have got away with using. And all of that adds to the calories at the end of the day. Something like a cottage cheese, yogurt, chocolate, cheesecake viral recipe, it might look nice, but by the time you've added all the ingredients, it is actually quite a high calorie meal or snack. What you could potentially do is just take the plain yogurt and add some cocoa powder to it and a teaspoon of honey, and there you go. You have a snack without overcomplicating it and also not over-calorifying it. If that's not a word, no, maybe. Even things like your main meals, and I know I might get a lot of hate for the lack of better words for this, try and keep them as basic as possible, especially in the beginning of your health and fat loss expedition. And by basic, I mean build your plate with some protein, some complex carbohydrates, and some veggies. Not everything has to be a fancy sausage bake with X, Y, and Z ingredients or a low-calorie this, whatty, that. Keep it simple, because simple and basic is what works. And by having simple and basic meals, it's really going to help you control the calories more, in a sense that you know exactly what calories are in there, instead of having to do a huge amount of guesswork to try and figure out what calories are in one massive fancy dish. Number 10, more veggies. I know you don't like your veggies, but now's the time to start eating those veggies. Your veggies are going to add volume to your plate. They are going to keep you fuller on lower calories. Besides that, micronutrients, health, there's so many other benefits to eating your vegetables. But from a hunger perspective, your veggies are amazing fillers when it comes to that plate, when it comes to you increasing the amount of food you can eat for a lower calorie cost. If you're not sure what basic meals to start making or prepping for yourself, I have got a recipe ebook which you can purchase. It has got 42 basic meal recipes in that book. And all the calories and other nutritional values of those meals are listed in the ebook as well. The link is in the description. Now, I know it might sound like a lot. Oh my goodness, there's 10 things that we have to start implementing. This is absolutely not the case. Like I mentioned, you can start with the first 3 things, or you can even start with just one thing at a time. Maybe reduce your alcohol consumption could be the first thing that you start with. Or maybe eat less takeaways and eat more home-cooked meals could be something that you start with. Or maybe you can start with just eating more vegetables. But as mentioned, these 10 things, whether all practiced at once or gradually implemented over time, will help that you feel fuller throughout the day, and it will also help reduce any cravings that you do have. On that note, I'm going to love and leave you like I usually do. Keep smiling, keep laughing, and keep being kind to one another. Much love, your friend who is talking from experience, Mandy.